What's up, people? Welcome back. Do you have a 444 Marlin or maybe a 444 Marlin? Either way you say it, it's okay. People argue about it all the time, but for those who don't know what it's all about, this is a super powerhouse straight wall cartridge made to compete with the 4570 in reality. So those who do know what it is, you know what it's all about. This can be a heavy recoiling cartridge depending on what you're shooting it out of. Out of the rifles, not so bad. The lighter weight single shots, it can still give you a little bit of a push. But out of these revolvers that they've made, Magnum Research made the BFRs chambered in this cartridge, the 444, and it's definitely a handful. When you go ahead and buy the factory ammunition like this Hornady Superformance, it's actually pretty hot in the hand. You can get reloads cranking even hotter. But there is a way to go ahead and shoot this a little bit more comfortably, actually cowboy loads. Now, this will be totally argued, and I'm going to take a lot of heat just for making this video. We did make a video recently on shooting 9mm and 380 through the 350 Legend CVA Scout rifle that we have. Now, this is a Scout V2 chambered in 444, and this is the BFR, but we're going to be shooting 4440. So along the same idea, it's a different cartridge. It's not spec'd out the same, really. You're going to have a little bit of a case blowout. Maybe not exactly a blowout is the right word, but it will obturate. It will fire form to the 444 chamber. So it is under bore size, but it goes ahead and comes out of the barrel pretty good. We were messing around with it off camera just to make sure we weren't doing anything stupid, and it works out pretty well. We're going to show you that today. There's conflicting reports on the internet in the threads of people doing this. And trust me, this is not a high pressure cartridge. This is a 200 grain cowboy load. This is just a lead load going out of this rifle right here, about 800 feet per second. I don't know what it's going to do out of the revolver. I can't remember, but it's not a whole lot. We have the Garmin here. We're going to check it, but we're talking super low pressures here. So all the safety Karens and Kevins, don't worry. We're not doing anything dangerous. We're not blowing anything up. A lot of people will scream at you on the internet. Don't ever shoot the wrong caliber out of the, whatever chambered barrel you have. If it doesn't say it, they freak out. But remember, we shoot 357 and 38 out of the same barrel. We shoot 44 Special and 44 Magnum out of the same barrel. We do this with a few different things. We can get away with 40 Smith & Wesson in a 10mm, and I know headspace and extractor and all that, but we get away with it all the time. Today's just another example. You do what you want with your guns. I'm just showing you what I figured out is capable, well, we are capable of in our guns. So don't do this at home. I have to give you that disclaimer. We're professionals and all that blah, blah, blah. But in reality, just see for yourself and then you decide what you want to do. It's going to be pretty simple here. We're just that bird, he doesn't like what we're doing. See, he's already yelling at us. I'm going to show you real quick what the 444 looks like out of each one of these guns, and I'm going to use the Superformance because it is some pretty hot stuff. And then we're going to go ahead and play with the 4440 a little bit. Now, I do have to put this little bit of safety information out there. There is talk quite often about using a 44 in a 444. I would not recommend doing that. Now we are talking about some high pressure stuff. 44 Magnum is a no joke cartridge. It is not the same case dimensions or chamber dimensions to case dimensions. I would not do that. I do not recommend that. And for, like I said, we're talking about cowboy loads as compared to total Magnum loads. So don't do the 44 Magnum, in my opinion. So here's that Hornady Superformance. We have a 265 grain flat point exposed lead round going at an advertised muzzle velocity of 2,400 feet per second. And as long as that Garmin works right, I think we're going to realize every single bit of that. Woo-wee, knocked my ear pad off here. 2372.0. So just a tiny bit short. But you can see that gave you a little bit of a push. That was definitely a handful out of that rifle. Let's try it out of the revolver. All right, 2372 out of that rifle. Let's see what we can get that 10-inch revolver to do. Hoo-wee. All right, we got 1908, and that's definitely a handful out of this thing. All right, now let's try out this total cowboy load, this Ultramax total flat point, 200 grain, 4440. Like I said, flat point. It doesn't have an advertised velocity of what it should be coming out at, but we'll figure it out. All right, and now a lot of people are going to talk about the step in the chamber, and that's a long way for that bullet to fly and how it's going to destroy the chamber. Keep in mind, guys, this is just lead. All these materials usually that are going through barrels, unless it's some really weird stuff, is usually a lot softer than the barrel. So we're not going to hurt anything. Just calm down. I know there's going to be Karens and Kevins, but anyway, let's see what kind of velocity we get and see how soft it shoots. Wow. I mean, the gun doesn't even move. We didn't catch the velocity. We will on the next one. There's nothing wrong with the case. I can tell you that. If you take a look at the primer, there are no pressure signs. Nothing's going wrong with this case. It is going to, of course, blow out a little bit up here at the top where there used to be a taper, and now it has swelled out to the size of the 444 chamber, but no big deal. Let me go ahead and get a little closer to that chronograph and see if I can get a reading for you. I'll go ahead and get down all the way down here. And we're hitting accurately. I don't know why that Garmin doesn't want to pick it up. All right, I figured it out. It's because I forgot to take it off the really high speed. That's the thing about those Garmins. You do have to change your target speed. So now we're analyzing, and we have 729.6. Easy extraction. They come right out of there. A little bit of smoke formed around it. Let's see what the next one wants to do. And like I said, they're all going pretty accurate. We're hitting right there in the yellow where we want to. 779.7. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. We have a 429 diameter bullet here for the 444 Marlin, and I believe it's a 427 diameter for the 4470 or the 4440, something close to that. It's not a 429 bullet, so it does have a little wiggle room to go down to the barrel, but obviously, at least at these short little distances, not even really trying to have any kind of real shooting skills involved, we're able to hit right where we want to. Those were the big smacks from the 444. You can see a lot bigger splash. These are a lot less, but we're definitely hitting with enough energy to do a little bit of damage if we wanted to use it for whatever, pest control, or if you had to use it in self-defense in a pinch or something like that. Let's see how it does out of the revolver. All right, I'm expecting a lot less velocity, but you never know. Weird things happen sometimes when you're not using the right cartridges in the right chambers. Haha. But let's see what we get. This should shoot like a total baby out of this revolver. Totally does. That shot really high point of aim, point of impact for this revolver. We had 683.5. Yeah, high point of impact. It's hitting up there by that bolt in between the two yellows. 716.6. The gun is so heavy, we have a wobble just from holding the gun, but nothing on the recoil. That is very easy, very nice to shoot. You would never think that a 444 Marlin revolver could shoot so soft. 675.8. And 707.1. That is some weird smelling powder. Definitely some cowboyish type of stuff. And we're on an empty. So I'm expecting these to extract out really easy. Boom, you can see they're sliding out, no problem. And they look just the same as they did out of the rifle. Those primers don't look bad at all. That's actually just a perfect looking primer. That's exactly what you want to see. The cases are not split. They're not cracked up here at the mouth. They don't look like those crumbled cookies or anything like that. I'm assuming, I haven't done this yet, but I'm assuming that you could just get some 4440 dies and reset these right back. Use whatever projectile you think you can get away with setting in there, whether it's a 429 or it's a 427, something like that. But if you have the dies and you can reset them, I don't think you're stretching out the brass too bad. I think you can get a lot of firings out of this, actually. And there you go. There's where we hit with the revolver. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then somewhere else in here we had an overlap. So there you go. Just for fun or in a pinch if you need it. At least with these guns today on this range with me, with that ammo, it works. And even though I like doing goofy testing all the time, this wasn't actually my idea. I can't take credit for that. So don't anybody say in the comments, oh, good job, Tom, or anything like that, even though there's going to be plenty of comments that say I'm an idiot. But this was definitely recommended by a friend, and I appreciate that. You know who you are. Good idea. It was actually really fun. Anytime you can take an existing platform and be able to use multiple cartridges in it to get different type of effects, like shooting easily, it's always fun. It's always pretty cool. You got to think outside of the box a little bit. Firearms are meant to be fun. We don't have to be super rigid all the time. And again, this is not a dangerous situation. Nothing about this, at least in these two firearms, is going to go wrong. These two firearms are more than capable of shooting very high pressures. There's no extractors to worry about. breaking like a semi-automatic pistol. There's nothing headspace issues to worry about. We're not, like I said, destroying a chamber or a barrel or anything like that. So remember, guys, we're just having fun. And besides, we're testing things here on our guns, on our range. You're safe on that side. Hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe check out that 9mm through the 350 Legend video. That was pretty cool. Thank you for watching this video, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep on shooting.